welcome to the 100 most prolific Super Nintendo speedrunners. An attempt to rank the top speedrunners of officially licensed US released games for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Welcome to SNES Prolifics. If you aren't familiar, I created the NES Prolifics list at the end of 2023, and really I've just wondered if it could be transferred to a different system or if it's very NES centered. So this is a product of that effort. This is meant to be a little bit of an April Fool's Day surprise, but the list itself is real. It is likely I've made some mistakes, and again, I'm using the system I created for the NES for the Super Nintendo. So there's likely some things that might be lacking. However, otherwise the system is basically the same. So consult the spreadsheet, consult the info doc attached, although the info doc attached is the exact same one I used for the NES. I did not update one for the Super Nintendo. And all information was pulled from SRC and Mega Man leaderboards, March 24th through March 28th. I did not pull any extra information from any individual source, so if you're not on those sites for the purposes of this list, you were not recognized. On to the list. I am not as familiar with Super Nintendo speedrunning, but I do recognize a number of these names. Mr. Cab. SBD Wolf has been on the NES Prolifics list before. Not sure if he is currently. We have Joe Polito, another person I know from the NES Prolifics list. And some of the people on here actually only have one game. It's a difference in that Super Nintendo speedrunning seems to be a lot more centered around a few games, a little less spread out. You'll notice the points are so close. And if someone intended to move up in NES speedrunning on this sort of list, you'd be able to make up a lot of ground once you got on it, just because of how close everyone is. Zeal, Spyreal also from the NES Prolifics list. I think it's 12th right now. Author Blues as well has been in and out the top 100 in the NES list. Tonks, Voltus, Yoshi, Swift Helicon, Akateru, Stigmat, Lack Attack, who last I saw was 3rd on the NES list, FSG, Jangle Storm, also around this position, a little bit lower I think, but on the NES list, Edo 87, Boxlisk, Smart Alec 24, also on the NES list, actually has the most NES speedrun games totals right now. Cyan Mache, Lost Core, LD Speedruns, Reebs, FS Links, Zelma, Clicks, And JC, also in and out of the NES list. Our top 20. Darko. 18 is Louis. 18, Yuri Salgadin. 17, Joe D'Amelio. 16, Bide. 15, Silent Wolf. 14, TM. 13, Poor Little Pinkus. It's the highest on here with only 3 games ran, but very good times in all of them. 12 is Tetsuo. 11th, Noble Boy 77. Our top 10. 10th is Narty. 9th is Void. 8th is Z4T0X, maybe Zatox. 7th is El Magus. 6th, Thug KJJ. 5th, Nerdy Nestor. 4th is Sin. I believe Sin gets the award for the highest average between the Super Nintendo and Nintendo lists. I believe he's around 20 on the Nintendo list. 3rd is Kelly01. That's pretty close, actually, between those two. 2nd is Zockerstew. And if anyone who pays any attention to Super Nintendo speedrunning knows who number 1 is. La Hawk. 10,000 point lead. Alright. But now, even more stats. Most games speedran on the list, of course. We have Joe Polito currently leading with 51, Sin with 48. You can go down the list. Some people not on the top 100 who are in here. Again, the list is meant to be an attempt to be a balance between being really good at really popular games and consistently good at a lot of different games, not necessarily popular. So this definitely helps, but it is not everything. And then world record numbers for the relevant categories. Again, we could only pick one category or merge very similar categories. Like for Street Fighter games, I took the best time for each person in every single runner category. So Ryu or Ken or Sagat, or I learned there's actually the bosses in Street Fighter apparently were names were shuffled. So probably because M. Bison sounded like Mike Tyson. And you can't have that on a boxer, I guess. But yes, La Hawk is way out in the lead at 17. I had actually created this after I did I made a SNES world record list. And at the time, I saw that La Hawk had a huge lead. I think I was in second then in like double digits, but I haven't defended any of those, and a lot of them were because of games I put on the system. You can see Joe Polito in second, though, with 8. Myself and Edo, 87, tied at 7. Ide at 6. Cole Melito at 6. And tied at 5. Retro Maestro Halil, Telio 1, Yoshi, and Zockerstew, tied at 4. Noble Boy, Omnigamer, Shaddix, Yuri Salgadin, and Zekanoma. And then 22 are tied at 3. 48 tied at 2, and 328 have just one world record. So, thank you for watching the video. The spreadsheet with all the information will be in the information, I repeated that, will be in the video information below the video. If you want to know the exact mechanics, you'll have to consult the NES document. I didn't have enough time to make a separate one. I'm also working on the NES update at the same time. So, I have no specific plans on updating this list, though, as the NES list is actually quite enough work and it's more active. But if we get enough people want this to happen, I'll figure out a way to make it happen. So please like and comment if you have thoughts to share. Subscribe if you want to be notified. Join the Prolific's Discord. Link will also be in the description, or catch me at twitch.tv/Aaron to YouTube. Thank you very much. you know, the best thing that doing this Prolifics list for NES did is it seemed to encourage some people to run some more games. Maybe the existence of this will do the same for the Super Nintendo. Thank you.